and it was shoved down my throat my entire life that he is not your biological dad. Your sperm donor this, your sperm donor that. And then it was like I was 15 when I started trying to like find him. Like I had a relationship with my stepmoms, I had a relationship with siblings, like half siblings, you know, everything. And then I tried to find him, could never find him. I think I was 22 years old before I ever found him. And the only thing that he could tell me was that my mother was a horrible human being, which she is, but he also is 10 times worse than she is. And like he lied and said that she cheated on him with one of the Dallas Cowboys because she was a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. I'm like, no, that never happened. Even I know that. Like, but it was crammed down my throat my whole life that he was not my biological father, but that was my dad. That's who raised me. That's the only man that I knew. And then at 15, it just started getting weird. And then by 22, I think was when I had the first conversation with him. And I found out what a bad person he was. And I hate to say this, but I pretty much told him to die. I said, humanity would be better off without you. You're a horrible human being. And I hate that. And I don't want that for her. I want her, when it happens, to be able to make the choice of, do I do this or do I not? My husband has already explained to me that he's like, I'm not going to be hurt at whatever decision she makes. You know, that's her choice, her life. I'm always going to be here for her. I'm always going to take care of her. I'm always going to claim her. She will always have my last name, you know, like that's just how it is. And I think that that is a very healthy move because when that was going on with me, that was not the boundary that was kept, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It was just very, everything was shoved in my face to make me feel bad. But then when I tried to fix it, it was like, oh, you're a bad person for even trying. So I need it to be her decision. I need her to decide if she wants to try. You know, like I will obviously tell her everything that happened between him and I and what he did to her and I. And then I'll let her collectively make her own decision because I was controlled growing up and I am a childhood trauma product and it has really affected my life in very negative ways, very negative ways. And I don't want her to grow up that way. I don't. And, you know, some people say, don't say anything. Some people say, you have to tell her. Some people are like, wait till she asks. But at the end of the day, honesty is the best policy. Transparency is important. You know, like if I'm not transparent with her, she's never going to trust me.
I agree. And you don't want to put her in a situation that you felt because you know firsthand how that feels. You know the
Absolutely.
pain, you know the trauma of it, you know every single thing. And you wouldn't want to put her in that because you don't want to repeat what you went through. There's that
Exactly.
joke, right? Yeah.
I'm breaking generational curses. That's what
Yeah.
I'm doing.
I was just about to say that. And there's that joke, right? Like the childhood that you have, sometimes we unintentionally will give our child or children that same childhood. But you're taking a step further and you're saying that this is what I went through. This is what I don't want.
Right.
So how empowering is it for you to use your own experiences to make sure that your daughter and your family doesn't go through the same thing that you did?
I mean, I don't really know if I can honestly answer that question because I don't know. I don't know that it is empowering. I'm still struggling with it a lot. And you know, I battle my emotions and everything daily and I battle whether I'm being a good wife, whether I'm being a good mom, whether I'm being a good friend. Like I battle that daily. because of everything that I went through. And it's just, a lot of it does come out in me. And I have to take a few steps back and just say, hey, like, you're recognizing that this is a bad pattern of behavior. You need to take this step back. Like, this is not okay, because if you continue to do this, your daughter's going to end up like you. And that's what I don't like. I love my kid. I love her to death. I want her to be like my husband. I don't want her to be like me. I don't want her to be a 37-year-old basket case. And I think you can collectively agree with me on that. Since all of us need to be jailed all the time.
Yes, yes. There's what that's probably the best way to make sure that we are holding ourselves responsible is
Yeah,
humor is a beautiful thing, right? If we're not laughing, we're crying. That's what a lot of people would say.
exactly. Yeah,
And for this,
exactly.
you want to spare her the childhood that you had. You want to spare her the feelings that you had. You want to spare her the disappointment that you had.
Right.
How are you going to you have since you mentioned it, there's some struggles that you're currently going through and you're trying to balance everything to the best of your ability.
I
Do
really
you
am.
feel some days that is too much even for you to handle?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm gonna try to keep it together, so everyone bear with me. Yeah, so I have heard a lot of people in the last year and a half because of some stressors and some things that have been going on in our personal life. It has a lot to do with real estate. I won't go into it, but I let a builder get the best of me for the last year and a half, and I have been slowly pushing people away to the point to where I was this close to losing everybody this morning, and it really made me realize that, like, hey, you can't do that. You can't treat people that way because you're stressed out. You can't talk to people that way. Like, that's not acceptable behavior. You can't do that. Like, you need to be an adult. You need to own the fact that you got yourself in this position. Stop taking it out on everybody else. Stop being angry. Stop being so hateful, and stop taking your anger out on everyone. And that's really what I've been doing. And honestly, today has been a huge day of reflection and talking to people and talking to my therapist and just making amends and saying I'm sorry for the things that I've done over the last like 2 years since all of this nonsense has happened. And the last thing I want to do is push people away. And, like when they said that you've been really harsh on your husband and your daughter lately, that really kind of made me think like they they didn't do anything wrong. My husband works his butt off. He does a lot more than he should for me being a stay-at-home mom. He really does. And I feel so bad for that. And like she deserves to have a mom 24/7, not 50% of the time. She deserves 100% of me, not 50% of me. And my husband deserves 100% of what it like my daughter deserves 100% of what I can give her as a mother, and my husband deserves 100% of what I can give him as a wife. And I don't feel like I'm at that. I feel like I'm at like 50% with each of them, if not less. And I think it's because I've let a lot of things consume me that I shouldn't let consume me. And I hurt a lot of people in the process of doing that. I did.